If you study Spanish via standard level and you are worried about preparing for your speaking exam, then this video is for you. A lot of students prepare for this exam by focusing on the wrong things, maybe memorizing vocabulary, perhaps rehearsing opening sentences, but then when they run out of things to say or when they go blank, when they have a difficult question, they don't know what to do. So I have been assessing the Spanish speaking exam for years, and as an examiner, as a teacher as well, I have seen the same mistakes come up again and again. So in this video, I would like to show you the 7 most common mistakes and what to do about them. Before we get to the mistakes, let me give you just a brief overview of the speaking exam at a standard level. The exam has 4 different sections. The first one is the preparation time. Your teacher will show you 2 visual stimulus. You will choose one, and then you will have 15-minute preparation time where you can prepare for your presentation. This preparation time is then followed by your presentation. The presentation will last 3 to 4 minutes. Following the presentation, your teacher will ask you some questions about the image and about your presentation, and that will last around 4 to 5 minutes. Once you finish that, there'll be the final part of the exam, which is the general conversation. And here your teacher will be asking questions on a totally different topic to the one covered in the visual stimulus. And this section will last 5 to 6 minutes. And what is really important is that you see this exam not as a performance, but as a conversation with the examiner. So the examiner is not there really to catch you out. It is there to give you every possible opportunity to show and to show off your knowledge of Spanish. It is really important that you look at this exam like this when we go through the mistakes. So mistake number 1 is about preparation time. Here's where the exam really begins. And because these 15 minutes are part of the exam, it is vital that you prepare for them. What is it that you're going to do during those 15 minutes? Go there with a plan that you have tried and that you have tested well before the exam. Having a plan for these 15 minutes will improve the quality of your presentation, but it will also give you some confidence. It will calm your nerves because you will have something to do. You will know what to do. And this plan can be something as simple as step 1, look at the photograph, try to understand what is going on, what is the connection between the stimulus and the topic that it represents, or the thematic area, and also all the connections that you can see with a particular Hispanic context. The next step will be to plan for the presentation, but obviously you cannot write every single sentence. You don't have time, and also it will be pointless because you are not allowed to read. So my recommendation is just plan a map for your presentation, some stepping stones with keywords, with opening sentences to help you remember everything you want to say about that image. And then something else that usually is forgotten, use this time, if you can, to anticipate the questions that your teacher might ask you about the photograph. This will give you a very efficient use of your time. Mistake 2 is closely connected to the first one, but I think it deserves to be treated separately. This really is a warning against using the 15 minutes preparation time to just write a full script. Why is this a bad idea? Well, first of all, you are not allowed to read. And secondly, you are only allowed 10 bullet points into the examination room. What I recommend instead is to have a framework, a series of steps that you have tried before the exam and that you know they will help you produce a really fantastic presentation. If you are wondering about this framework, I will be creating a video about it very soon. This is the mistake that probably costs most marks at standard level. And this is what it looks like from the examiner's perspective. So I give you a photograph. Imagine it's a group of people working together on an environmental project on a beach in Spain. and you describe what the weather is like, what the people are wearing, perhaps what they are doing, and that's it. You stop there. What you haven't told me is what the photo represents, what it means, the message that is sending. You haven't told me what the photo makes you think about and what your perspective is on that particular issue. So it's very important that you notice that description is only the starting point. It's the first move in a 4-move sequence, and each move generates the next one. I've called this framework DCIR. So students who use this framework will never run out of things to say, because every description, every observation will generate a connection, and that connection will perhaps need to be interpreted, and then that will generate a personal response. Use it. It is very important that you realize that the Spanish B speaking exam is not a photo description exercise. Every visual stimulus chosen for the Spanish speaking exam is going to be very deliberate in its connection with one of the 5 thematic areas that you have studied across the 2 years, but also a very deliberate invitation to explore a particular theme through the lens of the Spanish-speaking world. So if your presentation does not engage with a specific Spanish-speaking context or does not relate to one of the IB thematic areas, then you will be missing the point of this task. So it's very important that you don't treat this as a mere photo description exercise, but as an opportunity to show off your knowledge, and not just your language knowledge, but also your knowledge of the Spanish-speaking world. This one follows directly from mistakes 3 and 4. A student who only describes, who makes no cultural connections or thematic connections, will very soon run out of things to say. So if this is your case, my advice is to start asking a very simple question. And so what? In the photo there are only children. And so what? Why is that even relevant? What does that suggest? How does that connect to a particular issue or a particular topic? If you get into a habit of pushing one layer deeper, you will find that you will be very soon adding more precious content to your presentation. Also think about questions such as, what is my view on this topic? What does it tell us about the theme in the Spanish-speaking world? Just that single habit of asking so what really, really increase the amount of content, good content in your presentation. And you will also be moving from description into analysis, which is what the examiners really want to see. We've moved now into the general conversation, and a very common mistake is to treat this part as an interrogation. So the examiner asks a question, the student replies with the shortest answer possible, then silence, and then the next question, and we continue this pattern for the next 5-6 minutes. This is wrong. What you must remember is that this is supposed to be a conversation, and what the examiner is looking for is for engagement with a particular topic. Is instead of looking at this part as an interrogation, think about it as an opportunity to show off how much you've learned and how much you know about a particular topic. Instead of just giving a one sentence, add an example, add an opinion, add a doubt or a reflection that you have about what you've just said. This will reward not just your comprehension of the questions, but also your communicative fluency. So remember, every question is an invitation for you to explore a topic and to show off how much you've learned, how much you know about the Spanish-speaking world. The highest performing standard level candidates are not necessarily the ones with the most perfect grammar or with the largest vocabulary. They are the ones who are present in the conversation, those who contribute, who develop ideas, and also those who are comfortable enough to ask for a clarification when they need it. Just sitting there waiting to be asked questions doesn't really work in your favor. Being an active participant really pays off. And what does that mean? It means just being engaged enough to say, oh, that makes me think of something else, or I am not sure I completely agree with that, or perhaps could you repeat the question? I want to make sure I understand. And this last one is very, very important. Asking for clarification in Spanish. ¿Podrías repetir la pregunta? O no estoy seguro de entender bien. It's not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of communicative competence. It tells the examiner the student is engaged, is self-aware, and can manage communication strategically in Spanish. So here there are 7 mistakes and all entirely avoidable. What I want you to take away from this video is not a checklist, but a mindset. The IB Spanish B standard level speaking exam is not a test of perfection. It is a test of communicative confidence. The examiner wants to hear you engage with ideas, connect to cultural context, hold a real conversation in Spanish, and that's entirely within your reach. Use your 15-minute preparation time strategically. Build a framework. Move beyond description into interpretation and analysis. Connect everything you see to themes and to the Spanish-speaking world. And in the conversation, be present and be active and be brave enough to just keep going. If you found this video useful, share it with someone who needs it. Good luck, buena suerte, and I'll see you in the next one.